boy! It's week 10 of Cleveland Browns football.
Week off. We're back. We're fresh.
We're back from a bye-bye week.
Oh, yeah.
We came off a big win that we didn't really even get a chance to talk about.
No.
Woo!
Great win. Great team win.
Way to bring this fan base back to life.
Yeah, needed it. We're pretty dormant for a while.
Yeah. So definitely a big win. I think we've all had a chance to let that marinate a little bit. The defense definitely showed up. 2 turnovers, 5.5 sacks, or is it 6? I think you can't have 5.5. Whatever. They shut down Joe Burrow pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Joe Mixon, who went to have 5 touchdowns the following week, was held to nothing.
Yeah.
So, definitely a big game.
Yeah, we look good, man. We look really good.
Yeah. But we moved to the second half of the schedule, and where we have just three more games until the return of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So we head down to Miami to go face the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
And this Miami team is a very high-powered offense.
Yeah, they are not the Miami of old.
Definitely a new look from the beginning of the season, bringing over Bradley Chubb about a week ago at the deadline.
And Wilson from 49ers.
They just brought over Jeff Wilson, who put up some good numbers last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sent Chase Edmonds over to Denver.
Yeah. So they still have Raheem Mostert.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'll say they don't have the best run game, but
it still can be lethal.
Yes, don't count them out because this Browns defense has been pretty miserable against the run. So
it's very unpredictable.
Yeah. So
but I will say they've made a lot of progress in the last couple weeks.
Especially Mixon. Like I said, they really held it.
And you could even say Lamar in the Baltimore offense.
Yeah,
they definitely held their own against them. So I think this week is going to be it's very important. I think they got to grab at least one of the next 3, and I think it would start and give you really good momentum going into the second half if you can pull this one out on the road in Miami.
Yeah.
Because your next one ain't going to be so fun.
No.
I think this Miami team, they're very susceptible to the run, even though they're only giving up 3.7, except with the exception of last week. Their average bumped up to 4.6 after Justin Fields just straight up toasted them.
Yeah, 178 yards on the ground.
Well, I was going through their stats, and it looks like they do a good job against weak teams when it comes to running the ball. Like teams that don't lean on the ball so much, running the ball so much. But a team like Pittsburgh, they still got 65 yards on the ground through Najee Harris had 65 through 17 carries. Not a great average, but I think that somehow put some stress on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Then they face the Chicago Bears that, they're right now the best team in the league when it comes to running the ball. With a 3-headed monster, Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery, and Justin Fields. It's kind of hard not to run the ball with that being your
only source of,
right.
Yeah, it's kind of all they could do.
So I feel like if you continue to run the ball and you put the ball on the ground against these Dolphins and tell your offensive line with Wyatt Teller coming back in the starting lineup, go get these guys. I feel like you really have a good shot at this game. And I think the most important thing, as like I said against we played Kansas City, the best way to beat a throwing team is to keep them off the field by running the ball, milking this clock.
Yeah. Making smart throws when you are going to throw.
Right.
Don't make, just passes downfield just to do it. Just really smart planning and just really taking this, like you said, their offense, just leave them on the sideline and never really don't let them get warm. Keep them cold, and that's all you got to keep doing is keep running the ball, make smart passes, and like I said, you have Kareem Hunt still. You kept him. Let's actually utilize him.
And they did a great job of getting him involved.
It was a perfect balance last week or 2 weeks ago now.
When it comes down to our 3 wins, I think the crucial part is getting Kareem Hunt involved. The first game he had 2 touchdowns. The game against Pittsburgh, he was grinding them out in the third quarter. And then on Halloween, you saw him all over. He wasn't making the biggest plays, but he made plays that you can say changed the pace of the game. Rather than getting 2 yards, he fought for the extra 3. And that's not taken away from Nick Chubb, because Nick Chubb has carried the load of this offense the whole entire season. It's more so giving a different threat, giving a rest to Nick Chubb, that really changes the dynamic of this offense, where you're allowed to stay and run the ball as much as you can and then show different looks out of the backfield, which I think is very, very much a key part to this team.
And I think a big key part this week, and we kind of discussed it in previous weeks, but really utilizing the play action, we haven't really been doing as much as we have in previous years, but I think doing some more play action could be super helpful, and especially in a week that I think we're going to run a lot more than we typically do. I just hope Stefanski, if we do go down a touchdown or 10 points, he gets real nervous, and we've talked about it. He just is like, abandon the run, throw it. We gotta catch up, But I don't think we should play that game, and I think we should just honestly just keep it on the ground and more play action passes, and just really keep them guessing.
Yeah. I think this is a very unique week because this Miami defense is, I would say they're kind of like on the same boat as us. They're really hit or miss. 1 week they can give up 10 points. The next week they can give up 42.
Yeah, talent stack too. Just
like they gave up 32 against the Chicago Bears. They gave up, I believe, 30 against the Detroit Lions. They go down early a lot. So they're ranked 29th right now in pass defense. So it could be easy pickings for Brissett if he's making the easy throws.
Yes.
So I think they should stay well balanced, just to show that mix, because I really feel like this is a defense you can really get after, and just take control of the game. You do not want to get into a shootout with this team.
No,
so
you're going to lose.
To jump onto the other side of the ball, this Browns defense, who's getting back Denzel Ward and Chase Winovich back, should get a little bit of a boost. We're down Koromoa again this week.
JOK's out. And Njoku he's out as well.
Yeah. So this Browns defense, I feel like you have to not take one of these receivers out of the game. I feel like it doesn't matter who's guarding Tyreek each week he's gonna have a game.
Yeah, even if you double up on Tyreek, Waddle's still up there.
I feel like if you make it complicated for Tua, he's gonna make a mistake.
Yeah.
I think he's really inconsistent. But when you're given receivers like that that just can get open just off their speed, it's really hard to beat that. Because if you can at least get it to them, they're gonna make a play out of it.
And here's the tough thing about Tyreek is, we always talk about, play more man or, do zone in certain spots, right? It's hard because you can't really play zone against Tyreek Hill. It's so hard because you'll find that pocket and exploit it. But you also kind of can't play man against Tyreek Hill because he's so fast, because he'll burn you.
I feel
so what do you do?
I think this is the week that you have to be heavy on the zone.
Yes.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is a week where you got to keep everything in front of you. You can't get, this is not the Pittsburgh offense where they're going to truck it, keep everything short, because they're going to try to beat you, 15 yards downfield, try to get you over top. you gotta be over top and make the play. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brought extra safety help over top um, on these receivers. So I think putting the pressure on Tua, and you can't let their run game get going. Like you said,
Because that's tough.
yeah, they have I think their running backs are very much slept on, and Mozart and Jeff Wilson. This is two guys coming out of the San Francisco system, ran by Mike McDaniels.
Yeah, and I always thought Mozart was a really good back. He just couldn't keep on the field.
Yeah,
But when he's on the field, he's always been pretty explosive. So yeah, no, don't sleep on the running back core. But the one thing you don't want to do is have them be able to run the ball and throw the ball. I mean, that's what you would call a blowout. Then I think that's blowout territory if they can get both going. I mean, if you can stop their run and maybe shut down Jalen Waddle, right? And he has Tyreek. Yeah, you might get burned. You might make some plays. But as long as you can consistently just like shut down a part of their offense, I think this is a winnable game. I think it's a very tough game to win, but I think it's a win that we can make. I think we can. And I guess we're going to some Royal Donuts right now.
I feel like we kind of let's do our Royal Donuts. So if you got one, throw it out.
Like I said, shut down Waddle, and I'm gonna put that in there because I think it's tough when you have to guard two really explosive receivers.
I know, that's nuts.
But I think if you shut down one of them, and Tyreek's tough to shut down. We've tried it before with the same type of back secondary. It hasn't worked out great. So if you can stop one of their guys, I think that really then leans on. I feel like and then he leans on Tyreek throwing the balls in spot that I don't think necessarily he should be throwing the balls because you said he does get a little bit antsy. So that's mine right now. What do you think? If you're gonna toss another one out of there,
definitely put pressure on Tua.
Put pressure on Tua. You think a lot of blitzes with Dion?
I think we're gonna see a lot of blitzes this week. This is really good. Miami offensive front. They're very physical. So you gotta really bring the heat against these guys. I think you got a new toy in Deion Jones, and you send them on a blitz, and I think we're starting to see more blitzes.
Yeah.
What I think I'm seeing when I watch these games is kind of similar to what we saw last year. Is that the defense, they can be really solid at times and show flashes, and then they're really weak in some parts. But as soon as they started mixing in blitzes, you're starting to see a mix in coverages. They get really physical, and they really start playing as a team. And I feel like that's what we're going to see again this week, where they can be that physical team. I really feel like Martin Emerson's setting the tone as that player. You're starting to see guys like Taki,
yeah, really showing up,
really blossoming. Not saying that he already wasn't. I'm a big fan of Taki. He's really aggressive in the run game. He made some huge plays, one-on-one open field tackles that we've struggled with for years.
Yeah.
So I feel like this defense is starting to put it together a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if they got a little torched in the next 2 weeks. You're going up against some really good offenses, but you took a really good offense at the last time out, and you really put that talk to rest by coming out there and just playing your game. So I'm kind of excited to see how they come out, but putting the pressure on Tua, this guy is really, really, he can really kill you, or he can really just hurt his own team. but I think it would start with bringing that pressure once again, sending the blitzes.
Yeah.
Instead of sending 3 or 4 guys, you're sending 5 or 6. And that can really be a big time thing, and it can really prevent those big time throws.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and I'm gonna throw another one out here. Now I think Myles Garrett should have a huge game, but I'm telling you, man, the secondary needs to play well.
Denzel Ward. Baby.
Denzel Ward. Rotational pieces like AJ Green, they all need to play good. Safeties, be in the right spot. We've seen that all year where the safeties just aren't communicating properly, or they just don't know what's going on, or they've let coverage is blown. Safeties, like, play well, play consistent. Don't let anybody go over top of you. So yeah, hold these guys down, because I really do think if you cut off these receivers, really play well and tough against these receivers, I don't think they have the legs to do anything more.
Right.
And so that's where I'm at with it. You want to go and get some cocktails?
It's cocktail time.
Let's do it.
So definitely, I think we just said his name, Denzel Ward, baby. Comes back after, 3 games, 2 games? Off a concussion, his definite weakness. Definitely could use Denzel Ward. He struggled most of the season, but let's see him bounce back from a couple weeks off. So they're definitely going to need him. The last time he was in coverage with Tyreek Hill, I feel like he put up a really good fight. Most of the time, Tyreek would make a play was basically because they were in zone coverage. So I feel like Denzel matches up really good against Tyreek, but we're just gonna have to see.
We're gonna have to see it. Yeah.
I think the other obvious, I'm not gonna say obvious. I think the other cocktail goes to Jacoby Brissett.
I was gonna say Jacoby. Yeah.
Well, then go ahead.
No, you.
No.
I got someone else in mind.
All right, because if I took yours, go ahead.
No, you're good.
All right, well, I've been a big fan of Jacoby. You got 3 more games to prove yourself. Whether it's for another year, but you prove that you can. He's already proved that he's earned a contract, but you can keep this going until week 12. Or week 13, whatever it is, down in Houston. So he's got a couple more games left, and I think this is where a lot of people say, in this point of their career, that they're coming to the end. And he said in the beginning of the year is you don't know how many more games you got in the NFL. So I think he's really gonna take these next 3 games in. And I think he's going to really play lights out. Really get after this Miami passing defense.
Yes.
He's almost been damn near perfect this year. There's nothing more we could have asked of him.
Yeah.
You could pull 3 or 4 or 5 plays that you could really put on him. But he's been really good for what we asked of him. So I think he's got a couple more really good games left in him. And I think the offense really starts with him this week, rather it being Nick Chubb. Because at this point in the season, you can almost count on the running game to go for at least 100 yards.
Yeah.
So I really think we need to see a really solid game again out of Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I agree. Jacoby has a lot riding on these next 3 games. I mean, either another contract with the Browns or,
even a starting job.
Yeah,
I feel like he's earned that.
I think he could be a bridge quarterback literally anywhere in this league. So, I think Jacoby's outperformed what we thought we were going to get out of him. It's just we have 5 losses that you can kind of blame on the defense. Most of those.
But I'm going to stick with my guns. I knew this is what we were going to get out of him.
Yeah.
I thought he would be a little more inconsistent in some games, but like he has been, like he's been pretty damn good.
Yeah. No.
And I was always a big fan of him, and when we signed him, I was really, really happy.
Yeah.
Because I know we at least have a backup quarterback that can go play 11 games, and you're not scared. And I also made the statement in the beginning of the year that he would play better than Baker Mayfield did last year.
He has.
And I mean, he doesn't force things. You know, sure, he's forced 2 throws at the end of the game, but who doesn't do that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, even the best quarterbacks in the league. Look at Aaron Rodgers last week.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers. Brissett's on the same level as him, but it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, that being said, he has been really, really damn good.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna sit on that hill until he's done.
No, I agree. And I honestly, I said if no one does pick him up, I mean, I would love to have him as our consistent backup quarterback for years to come.
I think I can say he's been my favorite quarterback since the Browns came back.
I like him.
I
love in the conference, like post game press conference. He's funny. He's cool. I don't know. He seems like a cool guy. Like I'd hang out with him. You know.
Right. Like.
And I wouldn't really hang out.
We've seen some really shit shows of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You know. Granted, I was a Baker guy, but this is. I definitely think I can say I like Jacoby better.
Yeah. Well, he's
you can tell he's a smart guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
You can see it at the line of scrimmage. He's
smart guy. He's a dude's dude. I feel like he's just a cool guy to hang out with him. You know,
he's a leader. He doesn't. He's a professional. He goes in, does his job.
Yeah.
Makes his teammates look good. So.
I'd love to have him back next year and said for years going on.
Please.
Last cowtail, I'm gonna give this to his partner in crime. Now I think Nick Chubb gets a cowtail every single week that we don't have to really consider giving him another one because he eats already. But Jacoby Brissett's partner in crime, exploiting this 29th ranked pass defense. It's Amari Cooper.
Cool.
He's going to have a huge game.
What a steal.
Oh my God, dude. Steal of the offseason. But Amari Cooper, the guy that what I wanted Odell Beckham to be, he is. Amari Cooper's going to have a massive game, exploit this defense, and make some incredible plays. And I think he's going to help us to a victory. So I'm just going to jump right into the results then, because I think Amari Cooper's going to be huge. But like I just said, take us to victory.
Isn't it kind of crazy that, like, sure, we're not doing good. I mean, we're not in the best situation, but it could be worse.
Yeah.
There's not much drama.
No drama.
If it has
my God.
If it has nothing to do with Deshaun Watson, there's no drama on this team at all.
No, it's great. I love it. The past few years, it's just been like eating at my mental capacity every single week.
It's like, oh, well, the quarterback and the receivers are pissed off at each other, or you lost respect of the locker room. That's like, oof.
Yeah, people are getting pushed out.
No,
it's like, great. This year's awesome.
It's like we gotta. I can't say it's awesome, but it's like
it's
kind of a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, we suck, but it's not like it's burning down to the ground.
Yeah.
Man,
we got 3 wins.
I would say we had drama on the field where we're losing the last second, but honestly, that's not that bad. Like, I think this is another good point about this game coming up. The Miami Dolphins are the successful version of the Browns. And I'll say this is because they've been in a lot of games this year that they were able to just make one play to win the game.
Yeah.
Like,
theirs went positive, ours went negative.
Yeah.
We could easily flip schedule or flip records right now, and I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
I mean, they snuck one. They snuck one out in Baltimore.
Yeah.
You were able to come back in Detroit, and you barely pulled one out in Chicago.
Barely. Yeah.
And these
By
are
3 points. Right?
All 3 of them are very beatable teams.
Yeah.
So I honestly this week I say why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Anything can happen. I mean, anything can happen.
I mean, after letting us happen, to some of the worst teams in the league. Granted, the Browns have done it themselves. I say, why not? Go get it. Go get them this week.
31-24 Browns winning this week. Woo. My prediction, getting that dub, going 4-5 on the year so far.
I'm still saying negative. I think this one's going to be a shootout, so I'm going to go 42-38 Dolphins with the 4-point cover.
Okay. I mean, I'm not.
But
I think any week I just like, yeah, sure.
But will I make my bet? My bet right here is the Browns fans will be all over Miami because they traveled really good and Miami sucks. Why would you want to stay here in Cleveland when it's 30 degrees when you can go down to Miami and go sit in 80 degrees and watch your Cleveland Browns?
I love Miami, not the sports teams, but the city. And right now it's pouring rain and gray skies. I love to go to the game.
Oh, if they were playing in Cleveland, I'm definitely giving it to the Browns.
You gotta go Browns then, yeah. They're in a dome, a nice spot. Yeah, whatever. Well,
that's it.
That's it. That's
it for this week.
Thanks for coming.
Hey. You're slipping, man. Slipping, brother.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.